protein from the meal into smaller and smaller units. Protein is made up of combinations of 20 different but unique building blocks called amino acids. 2 of these 20 amino acids are called phenylalanine and aspartic acid. Many foods, especially fruits, vegetables, and juices, often contain small amounts of a component called methanol. When the carbohydrate, fat, and protein are broken down into small enough units, the nutrients move across the intestinal lining and are absorbed into the bloodstream, which will take them to the tissues of the body where they are needed. The methanol is absorbed and rapidly broken down to water and carbon dioxide and then excreted by the body. Click below to see what happens with an aspartame sweetened beverage.
I'm scared.
This isn't a normal person.
Aspartame is a simple ingredient that quickly breaks down to its only 3 components: aspartic acid, phenylalanine, and a small amount of methanol. Just as when they come from other foods, these components pass across the intestinal wall into the bloodstream. The 2 amino acids go to parts of the body where they are needed, and the methanol is quickly converted to water and carbon dioxide and then excreted by the body.
Yum.
So if we had time, we would do a live where we were boiling Diet Coke so you can see what it looks like when you metabolize Diet Coke. But since we don't have time, I know it's a question on your handout. You could just say that it shows what it looks like when you metabolize and Diet Coke and aspartame is broken up in the body. Sorry about that. Alright. So now we're going to get to people who suffer from the genetic disease phenylketonuria. Phenylketonuria occurs in 1 in every 13,500, so it's a very rare disease. And it's a metabolic disease, an inherited one, which affects the body's ability to perform certain chemical processes that are required for normal growth. And the only kind of symptom that you'd be able to see of phenylketonuria is that the person might have a really, really light complexion or possibly be albino. That's been tied to phenylketonuria. And the PAH enzyme, or the phenylalanine hydroxylase enzyme, in somebody who has phenylketonuria is broken or doesn't function at the right rate. And even though it can produce some working, even though it can work, it doesn't work well enough to a point where the body can produce tyrosine. And tyrosine is a non-essential amino acid, and the body converts phenylalanine through the PAH enzyme to tyrosine. So that's the importance. And because the PAH enzyme is broken in someone who has phenylketonuria, the phenylalanine can build up within the body throughout the bloodstream, and then eventually builds up in the brain, which is why it's so dangerous. And so somebody who has PKU has to be on a special diet. They can't have any of the products I talked about earlier that contain phenylalanine, like meat, eggs, or dairy. Have to completely eliminate that. And they can't have aspartame either because that contains phenylalanine. And these foods are replaced with a special medical formula that contains no phenylalanine. And people who have PKU are on a diet for life, so to say. So it's not, that's a question on your handout too. It's not some 6-month program that you go on and you're suddenly cured of PKU. You have it from the time that you're born to the time that you die. And as you can see on your Yoplait Light yogurt, there's a little warning label that says, I think it's phenylketonuria, like this product contains phenylalanine or something like that. All products that contain aspartame have to have that warning label, and that's what I was talking about when companies have to put function claims on their products. So, you guys have this picture on your handout. Now let's just explain it real quick. So you have the beginning part where you get phenylalanine from protein in the food or from your muscles, and then that's converted to a bunch of amino acids. One of them is phenylalanine, and phenylalanine goes through the PAH enzyme, and that PAH enzyme converts phenylalanine But then a person who has PKU, the phenylalanine, can't go through the PAH enzyme because it's broken, so it never makes tyrosine. And so you build up phenylalanine, and that causes health problems. Those health problems include learning disabilities, hyperactivity, neurological problems such as tremors, skin disorders, and